Real.
Oh, boy.
Aaron Rodgers expected to be in town tonight with the expectation of him signing this weekend. This is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real thing, folks.
Yep.
Not speculation. This is what we have been told.
Okay, so he wants more money, and Steelers are going to cave. He deserves more money. They were actually a grown-up functional offense. You can look at the numbers. Pre-Aaron Rodgers in 2024, they were completely inept at virtually everything. And last year, they may not have been special, but it was a massive improvement. They were actually, didn't give the ball up much and, honestly, pretty good in the red zone. So you can't ask a Hall of Fame quarterback in back-to-back years to give you 2 freebies. Last year was sort of like that Costco free sample year. Aaron gave you some Costco free samples. And now Aaron's saying, okay, this year I need you to buy in bulk. No freebie. I mean, he had a better year than Baker Mayfield and made about 35% of what Baker Mayfield did. The bigger picture, though, with Cleveland is that I can remember having a discussion with a boss years and years ago at a television network, and the boss said, we've got about a 7 to a 10-year plan. I don't expect NFL teams to have 7 to 10-year plans, but most NFL GMs I talk to have between a 3 and a 5-year quarterback plan, and the Steelers don't. That's why the Rams drafted Ty Simpson. They think they're going to get 2 great years, Stafford, maybe a third. But most NFL teams have a 3 to a 5-year plan at quarterback, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they treat quarterback like it's a slot corner or an off-ball linebacker. We may get to it at the trading deadline. Let's see what plays out in the preseason. That's how they do it. The Eagles, a great organization. They had Carson Wentz. They drafted Jalen Hurts. The Rams, Ty Simpson. Belichick, during Brady's best years, every couple years he's drafting a quarterback. The Green Bay Packers, it's an industry. They draft Aaron, sit 3 years. They draft Jordan Love, sits multiple years. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't do it that way. And, basically, Big Ben had his last great year was like in 2020. He had 33 touchdowns. He was old, but he had a great year. The following year, Big Ben fell off a cliff. Every number went down. Everything regressed. And their decision, their game plan was Mitch Trubisky, who had been a backup in Buffalo, and Kenny Pickett, a massive overdraft. And I said it at the time, I didn't have a single GM that thought Pickett was a first-round quarterback. Most thought he was a middle third-round quarterback. So they treat quarterback with absolutely no urgency at all. And it would be like running a television network. And what are you going to do for the fall football season? We'll figure it out in July. Wait. At Fox, when it comes to the World Cup or a Super Bowl, literally the minute a World Cup ends, you're planning for the next one. It's a global event. When a Super Bowl ends, you got a few years, but it's a 2-year event planning for a Super Bowl. Well, it's the same with NFL teams, except the Steelers. They've had 5 different quarterbacks for their opening game in 5 years.
All right, let's break this down. I'm not going to spend too much time on Colin going off on a full-blown tirade against the Pittsburgh Steelers right when there's actually positive news. I want to focus on this because I think this graphic is extremely revealing and really highlights what Aaron Rodgers can bring to the table, since a lot of people want to minimize what he contributed last season. And yet we can clearly see this sharp contrast. People just dislike Aaron Rodgers so much that they refuse to acknowledge any positives. But and regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers, what Colin is saying isn't 100% wrong, but it's not entirely fair either, because obviously we know the Steelers have consistently been a middle-of-the-pack team, so they never get a great draft pick, and so on. But here's something that isn't discussed very much. The Steelers could have made other trades in years past that would have given them the chance at a higher draft pick, not unlike what the Los Angeles Rams did, and that's how they were able to get Ty Simpson in the first place, right? That was the Atlanta Falcons draft pick. The Steelers could have done similar things in previous seasons to position themselves for a better selection. So that's certainly a possibility. But make no mistake, let's say Ty Simpson had been a stronger candidate, right? Let's say it was truly a debate between Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson as the clear top 2 prospects, like oh my gosh, 1 and D2. Well, then the Arizona Cardinals draft him or something, and the Rams don't get Ty Simpson, and they're not trading up to number 2. they weren't going to do that. So even in a year that worked out for them potentially, we'll see what happens with Ty Simpson, they still needed luck. They still needed the exact type of quarterback about whom people say, I don't know, is this guy great? Is he the future? Maybe we'll wait for him later in the first round or even the second round, right? Whatever it is. But if it were a bona fide, no doubt about it, this guy is for real situation, if the debate was simply who should go first, Ty Simpson or Fernando Mendoza, like which one, then the Rams don't get him, and poof, there you go. Goodbye. See you. So we can't act like it's super easy to just magically draft a great franchise quarterback, because it's not. Before I go any further, please, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. I'm genuinely fired up by this news, honestly. And when you guys subscribe, when you watch the full-length video, when you subscribe while watching at the same time, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof, and it creates such an avalanche effect. And again, it's not about chasing views. It's not about chasing subscribers. It's about creating Pittsburgh Steelers content that people genuinely want to watch, so we can have real, honest, grounded discussions. And that's not the easiest thing to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers when Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. I've told you guys this before, I lived in Pittsburgh. I lived in Oakland. So I know how passionate they are about their football out there. I was there when they won the Super Bowl, and it's just, some of the conversations around the Steelers, I don't know why they became everyone's go-to target, like let's just dunk on Pittsburgh or pretend they keep making one dumb decision after another. And it's like, I think they've taken some interesting flyers. Do I think they've done a good enough job to secure that quarterback position? No. But they have taken some chances. They have taken some swings. It hasn't worked out. Could it be better? Of course. But ultimately, this is what I thought they should do with Aaron. I was getting tired of the whole back and forth situation. So I basically said either move on or don't. Either way. And even if you think you have your backup quarterback set as your future, Will Howard or whoever, Drew Aller, you still want Aaron there. It's still worth paying Aaron. And I went on my whole rant about how even the amount of money they're going to pay Aaron does not break the bank. It does not affect their ability to build a great team this year, next year, or the year after. I went through all the math, all the numbers before. So not paying Aaron is strictly just because we don't want to. It doesn't actually affect our ability to put together a better team. It's not going to be like next year or the year after, where we're watching a game and they say, see, this team is just not good enough right now, and point to that as the problem. 2 years ago, remember, Aaron Rodgers wanted more money, and because of that, they couldn't afford to beef up their offensive line. That's not the situation we're in. That's not the situation at all. So the money thing is strictly about unwillingness. And now they're going to do it, and it just makes sense because he is worth that money, He's worth it. He's not saying, I want a 4-year, $250 million contract. That's not the case. I'm excited to see what it actually ends up being, but I'm confident it'll be worth it. And you see what even someone who's clearly past their physical prime can bring to an offense. I'm pretty excited to see what Aaron does this year because they continue to improve the roster even more. The offensive line should be better. The run game should be better. The passing game should be better. The coaching should be better. I'm genuinely excited. I really am. They made some moves. Got some more pass catchers. Still have their 450-pound parent tight end, which we kind of got robbed of being able to really see what that could look like because everything was a little disconnected earlier in the season. And then, of course, he got injured unfortunately, but that was building somewhere nicely. Pittman, DK, IT. Think there's some juice here, honestly. I really do. Put it this way, if Aaron can stay healthy and play at the level he did this past season, considering the changes the Steelers made, I can see this improving even more. Again, are we going to watch this and say, oh my god, the Pittsburgh Steelers just built a top 3 offense in the NFL? Not necessarily. But couldn't there be a lot of action there? Couldn't there be a lot of juice? Couldn't there be legitimate momentum and games to be won? Absolutely. 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 So I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to also see if the defense can actually take a step forward now. I'm interested to see if, in the latter years of Mike Tomlin's tenure there, he was perhaps holding the defense back a little more than people realized, or not, you know. So I think it's just an interesting time in Pittsburgh, and I think it's okay to be optimistic, and dare I say, it's okay to be excited. It's okay to be excited. I know the Steelers aren't exactly where they want to be. Ultimately, you want to feel like you're in a situation where, alright, this coming year, you want to feel like the Rams, right? Like, we can win the Super Bowl right now. It's on. But sometimes the next best thing is just kind of, I don't know, it's actually going to be a pretty entertaining and interesting season. I don't know if we're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs. I don't know if we're going to win the division. On. But I really want to watch and find out. And that's how I feel about certain other teams. This is what I was saying when I made an Arizona Cardinals video. It's like, you know, I'm not really excited to watch an Arizona Cardinals game. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I'll watch it. I'll take notes. I'll talk about it if there are things to discuss. But it's not at the top of my list of things I'm excited to watch. I am genuinely excited to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm genuinely excited to see how those games unfold. I'm genuinely excited to see the Steelers versus the Ravens. I'm genuinely excited for that. And a big part of that is going to be because of Aaron Rodgers and what this offense and Mike McCarthy, etc., are going to look like. So, you know what? If that's the floor of what you can expect from a team, sign me up. Sign me up. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Aaron Rodgers likely to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rodgers to visit Steelers tomorrow, I thought it was today. I think I heard in another clip from a different show earlier that it was happening today, but I guess it's tomorrow. So I guess we won't fully know unless there are leaks about what the contract is and Adam Schefter comes out and says he'll be signing a deal for $35 million tomorrow. That's what's expected. So we'll see if more information comes out. As of right now, I obviously have no idea what the actual price point is. But most likely this is all going to go down pretty straightforwardly and smoothly. But, you know, man, who knows? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree. Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.